Hey, everybody. It's Thursday night. It must be time for Shop Talk. I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics. Stick around because we have an awesome show lined up for tonight. So hang out for just a minute while we play this really cool intro video. And just like that, we're back. Good to see everybody on tonight. Stick around, jump in the chat, ask your questions, make your comments, and if you have anything rude to say, address them to Alan. How you doing, Alan?
Boo!
Now, don't go booing people now. That's rude.
No, remember, all rude comments and complaints are to be sent
Nick
to Nick
at
Ellis at
twobrotherscomics.
twobrothers.com.
That's right.
That's how we do that.
That's right. We got a heck of a show lined up tonight, man.
You know, I thought about it one day. I really hope Nick finally gets back into that email address and he's got like 500 complaint emails. That would just be the greatest thing ever.
That would not surprise me in the least. That would also be great. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
but
no,
dude, we have got an awesome show tonight. Let's tell people what it's going to be about.
I hadn't got a clue. I just show up each week and whatever happens, happens. I see like a ton of people in the backstage area and I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm not a shop owner. I'm not an artist. I'm not anything. I'm just here.
You're the talent.
Oh, I'm the talent?
Yeah, you're the talent.
I'm the comic relief.
Also, you've got you bring the shine.
Yeah.
This is an absolutely unforgivable violation. This is an
Well, let's go ahead and bring on our guest of the night, one of many, Mark Spears. What's up, brother?
Certified badass.
Oh yeah,
certified badass.
That's right.
You're killing me, man. You've really got the soundboard going tonight.
It's awesome. Love it.
So how's it going, Mark?
It's going. I'm glad to be here. This is the final week of the blind bags being solicited, so that's awesome. In the home stretch now, so now it's just getting the product to the printers and everything like that. So I'm pumped.
Well, speaking of blind bags and all that stuff, we've got folks that we want to first. Let's jump real quick to the chat. Hey guys, appreciate y'all jumping on. Tots, what's happening, brother? Laserbeak. Somebody who recognizes that Chrome Dome you got over there, Alan.
Hey, this thing is glorious. Y'all make as much fun of it as you want to.
I like how that's ambiguous. So we don't know exactly who's the gentleman and who's the guest. That's good. Destry, good to see you, man. Everybody that's on, man, jump in the chat. Let us know you're here and be ready to pipe in some questions. I want to introduce some of our other guests because we have a few on tonight, and this is awesome. We have Jen King from Space Cadets Collection in Houston, Texas.
Hi, y'all.
How are you?
I just got hot off a show in which I just sold one of our variants from Glorious Mark's work.
Awesome.
That artist is a hack.
I've been hearing that a lot.
So how are things in Texas?
Really good, but so hot. Oh my gosh. This week was supposed to be cooler, and inside my back door I had to process a whole pallet of manga today, and I just about died. Inside.
No, that's a heat stroke waiting to happen. Nobody needs that. All right, next up we have Travis Pratt. What's happening, Travis? You're on mute, brother.
Oh,
there you go. Tell us your store. Tell us where you're located. All that jazz.
So the store is called Current Comics in Monterey and Salinas, California.
Rock on.
I was a customer for about a year, worked here for 2 years, then bought it 11 years ago.
So you followed the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how comic book stores survive.
Yeah,
exactly.
What I have noticed.
Yeah, no, it's great. Love location. This year is shaping up to be one of our best ever. So
fantastic. I hope Mark has not brought you guys down.
Only up. Definitely, one store has more fans than the other, but we're working on that. But you got a lot of big spenders, let's say. I'm thankful for your art.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
thank
no
God for
lie.
those guys.
We ordered like this deep on all 3 of the Absolute covers, and we were down to nothing.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Insane to me. I ordered so that I'd have a bunch for a show that happens in October that we're gonna go set up, and I did not plan well.
It's hard to plan well because you don't you order more than you think you need, and it's not enough, and you're like, well, how many more should I have ordered than I thought I needed?
Yep.
It's a tough place to be. And let's bring on Mr. Richard Early from Paradox Comics and Cards in Fargo, North Dakota. See, everybody loves Richard.
Yes, of course.
I feel obligated to do the Fargo accent after all you Southerners there.
Hey, as long as you don't have a wood chipper, we're good, brother.
we have a local artist that does a free giveaway poster for Free Comic Book Day, and we try to theme it locally. So this year was the Joker with the wood chipper and Robin's foot sticking out of the wood chipper. So,
if I hadn't well, my dad wouldn't let me spend the money to vote to kill Jason Todd off, which I'd really wanted to do. So I approved of that decision. But if I had voted the other way, I still might think that was too soon, man. But no, that was good. No, that's fantastic. So we brought all these folks together, and we've still got Marco Folletta from Arkham Asylum down in Florida is also going to be joining. He's just running a few minutes late. But we've got retailers jumping on from across the country. We've got the South represented. We've got Texas represented. We've got North Dakota represented and California represented. So what I was thinking, Mark, was honestly, if I'm totally honest, the scoop on the blind bags, the scoop on what you're doing with the Monster and the Wolf has not been well disseminated to retailers, in my opinion.
Well, I am upset at that. I'm leaving right now. Let me hit the deactivate button. No,
if you launch through your roof out of that seat, if you have an eject button, that is a bad idea. Because Melissa might have installed one in that chair.
Yeah, she probably is sitting on the button in there. Totally. Keen Spot. Again, I wasn't familiar with them before they published my book. They aren't set up, I think, with enough of the marketing and the advertising or anything, or just getting the word out of what the blind bags are. So me and you had talked about that, and I was saying, hey, how can I reach a lot of people, especially retailers, to let them know, what is, answer all their questions, let them know more about what's going on. I do feel that it was under whatever you want to call it, marketed, under information, whatever it is out there. Another thing is, with the whole diamond thing being gone, there, I think we might have had with diamond in the old days, we'd have had more information out there with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can buy an ad and all that kind of stuff. With Lunar, it's just different. So that being said, yes, I'm more than happy to come here, let people know more about them, answer any questions, because I think I've watched some YouTube videos myself of people talking about them, and the information was totally wrong, right? They were like, oh, there's some he's just putting the Kickstarter covers in the blind bags, and you could, no, that's false. That's not what's happening. And then I heard, it's about 30 covers. No, it's, more than that and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm here, set the record straight, answer all the questions you got, and have some good fun. So,
you're on the wrong show, Nick. The politics and religion show is elsewhere.
And I appreciate these retailers coming and taking their time. There's more things they could be doing tonight, I'm sure. They've had a long day. So I appreciate it so much that you came on and being here with us. So thank you so much.
So what's interesting, Mark, is I as a retailer didn't take it to be that there wasn't information about the blind bags. I took it to be that they did not want to reveal 100% what was in them, so that it was a big surprise on release day. So
yeah, that's another thing.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. Well,
Bringing on one more guy, Marco from Arkham Asylum
Marco
down in Florida. What's happening,
Marco?
What's up, guys?
I should have made it a prerequisite, Marco. You're not allowed to bring that awesome pizza and eat that pizza on the show. And I'm glad I didn't have to do that because I would be starving. That pizza you have looks amazing, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Let me answer Jen's question. So basically, the only thing we didn't want to reveal was certain covers, right? We wanted to hide certain ones because fans asked me, they said, Mark, I want to be surprised like it's, like they're trick-or-treating or that it's Christmas and stuff like that. And, it's a present. So I said, sure, I'll reveal maybe half the covers you can get, maybe a little less, as long as it's enough to whet the appetite of the people so they can see the quality, see what they're kind of going to get. The information should have been put out there more about what was in the blind bags, but also at the end we added more because I was working on getting that finalized. Because I didn't want to announce something and then go 2 weeks later, we figured out we can't really do that. So let me take that away. I didn't want to do that. So, and what I'm talking about there is the golden ticket, which we call the Unholy Grails.
You mean this?
Yeah, that. We on that, I wanted to announce it at the very beginning. That was the idea. But again, we had to make sure that the printers would be able to put the tickets inside and not just floating where you could feel it, but actually in the comic. And could we make them weigh less than an ounce? Could we make them so thin, but yet it's a nice piece of paper to where people can't weigh them and know that they got it? And the logistics of all of it, because someone else prints those and then they have to send them to Transcon, who's doing the printing of the books with the blind bags. So it was a big undertaking, but finally we knew about a week ago. And that's when I revealed that, yes, we're doing that. So, and on that, there's some misinformation out there. There's 13 covers. They're not sketch covers. Because I could have went that route, but I thought, no, wouldn't it be something better if they were one of one printed book? You got the only one that's printed of that book. So I did that, and then they were going to be put inside the comic at first, inside the blind bags, but I was worried, like, what if Jen gets one and it's damaged, right? And there's only one that exists. So I was like, what if they come to me? I'll get them graded. I'll sign them. And that way, when they redeem them, I'll send it out as a special treat just to them, right? So that's how they're handling it. So it's a golden tickets. 13 are put in there randomly. It could be in a foil. It could be in a cardstock. It could be in a glow-in-the-dark, whatever type of cover. And that's how we're handling that. And there's numbers on the back. It has an email address, and each number is we have it on the sheet so they can't be duplicated and stuff like that. So someone can't cheat and just come up with a number. They have to take a photo of the ticket and things like that. But that's out there. So you got the golden ticket, which I think increases the value a little bit. And then we also added Night of the Living Dead, 9 licensed covers that I had done. I did this artwork a couple of years ago, and I was talking to them, and I was like, wouldn't that be something? Because it was Halloween. I like Night of the Living Dead. And so we added these. They're sideways covers because the original art was that way. And they're like distressed looking. They're going to be on cardstock. Only 500 will be printed of each one of each 9 and put in the bag. That really depends on how many we know next week when the orders come in, how many we have. If somehow there was 500,000 units, that's a 1 in 1,000 now. If it's, 400,000, it's a little bit less than that. I'll have the math perfect next week. With everything else, we base it on percentages. Like DC will come out with their KO bags and said, we're doing a 250, a 500 and thousands, 1 in 1,000s in there. But they don't have their order numbers yet. So they might print, way more than we're going to print what we're supposed to, and then, bump it up for damages, whatever it is. So we will know based on that next week. We'll know exactly the numbers, but like a foil is a 1 in 14 chance of getting a foil in your bag. Because I want it to be to where they wouldn't too rare, where it's just impossible to get one. So that's how that is. The base covers are all printed the same ratio. So there's 30 base covers. They all will have the same print. So let's say they're printed 7,000 times. Then the foil will be printed a lot less than that. And then there's other covers that are printed even more rare. And then another thing that people have asked as well, is it just what like DC's doing with KO, where they're taking a cover and then we'll make a variant foil of it, and then that's your covers. There's 50. Let's see, 55. Is it 50? No, wait. 50.
I have to pause real quick to shout out to Bianca, who's one of our favorite human beings on the planet. If you guys, comic shop guys, if y'all don't know Bianca, you need to get to know her because she is amazing, and she's a heck of an artist.
Hey,
It was freezing up. Okay. So there's 54 total designs, if you want to look at it that way, in the blind bags. 54 total covers. There's over 80 because some are also foil. And on the foil, sometimes I played around with it and I took it distressed off, or I changed the background because I thought it would look better as foil if it had a white background, so it'll be more foily or whatever. So there's a lot in there. Again, there's over 80 covers. Those two I just added this week. They'll be in there. There's going to be regular base, and then there'll be a foil version of them as well. So that's basically it. That's the gist of everything. Is I don't think anybody has ever had an undertaking like this on a blind bag before. Like I said, over 80. Every cover's done by me. There is some sketch covers in there, like blanks, because we know people like those. There's two types, one black, because I know people like to, take them and draw on them. And I was like, okay, a black and orange cover would be kind of cool. And then there's a white one that's your normal standard sketch cover.
And you got glow in the darks, right?
We have glow in the dark covers.
And you got trick covers. And
the glow in the dark covers only come that way. You can't get it like foil. You can't get it a card stock. If you get a glow in the dark, that's the only way that cover is in there. And it's rare. I think there's only about 500 of each of those printed. There's black and white. We're doing 5 different black and white ones where I went in there and recolored it black and white. And then we also have trick covers. 5 trick covers are in there where they're just kind of like funny, goofy covers that I thought, because every now and then, you're going to get a treat, but sometimes you should get tricked. But the trick covers, again, very low print runs on all this stuff, to where I'm trying to make it to where whatever you get, whatever a customer grabs there, it's printed low no matter what, because that's what I want. I want it to be all limited and collectible, to where no one's unhappy going, man, I got this cover. I didn't want this cover because it's printed up 50,000 times. There's nothing printed like that. Even if we did, I think, I don't know how many units we'll actually have on pre-order, but even if it was 500,000, I think we don't even go up to 10,000 a unit. I'd have to do the math, but we're trying to make it to where it's fun for everybody. It's a great experience for retail, great experience for the customer, and it'll add to the Halloween season and everything like that. So,
can I make a request?
Yes.
Will you make a card set based on these covers?
I actually have trading cards based on the previous covers that have come out, all the way up to Monsters #6. Some of some Kickstarter covers in there. These covers have never been on cards yet, so that would be the plan next year. If I have time, they would actually get put on that. I wouldn't plan on doing this many covers. With the original idea was I wanted to make sure I beat out like what Battle Beast did. They had about 13 covers. And I was like, the more covers I can add, though, the more limited they would be, right? That's the only way I can get it. So I was like, I'm just going to have to work harder and get more out there to where, and make them good. If you saw the covers, I had more covers than what's out there. And I went through them and said, doesn't pass it, and put it off to the side. I said, I'm not going to use it because I wanted them all to be amazing covers to where if you get it, you say, I'm happy with this one. This one's awesome.
Oh, you want amazing covers? So who are you going to get to do the art?
Alan Breedlove. There you go.
Hey, those stick figures are top notch.
Hey, look, I actually had a request for some personalized art one time, and I did draw me throwing a pie at Nick Ellis.
That's true, you did.
And I did it live on the show. So, I mean, I'm an artist.
He's a certified artist. He's the guy. But no, that's awesome, Mark. I don't know, you're thoughtful about how people consume this stuff, right? So they're like, okay, I want to have all of these covers. Well, you've got a lot of covers, and I think that's indisputable. But the fact that they're not all, everybody's going to open 10 bags and they're going to get 10 of the same cover. The chances of that are pretty low, I think. So that's awesome.
I would hope so. That was my biggest thing right now is I want the mix to be good. I don't want Jen or any of these guys to go and sell 10 covers to a customer. The guy comes back in the next day, throws them on the counter going, they're all 10 the same cover. Can't have that. I got to have a good mix.
Somebody did your math for you.
Okay. So 500,000, the most common would be, okay, maybe I can get that down a little bit though. I could go back and make more covers, but we'll see.
Probably just pull one more over. Probably.
We were thinking we're looking at right now. We're probably at maybe around 200,000 to 300,000 areas. What I'm thinking we're going to be. It could be. I've had some people in the industry tell me they believe it's going to be 500, but I don't know. I mean, we have nothing to go on except what Lunar tells us. Lunar does say it's doing very well. It's the #1 ordered book in October, but you've just got KO, just announced, which I got a cover in that. So,
I saw that.
These other blind bags have covers of mine in them too, so I'm competing against myself. But so that I do think it's going to do well, and I think I want it to be where there's a great mix in it. And now coming from a retail's point of view, because I owned a comic book store 20-something years ago, I don't want books sitting on the shelves. I would rather sell out and not have as many out there. So I'm very conscious on my brand, very conscious about saturation. And I've even been thinking about after the blind bags, after we have Halloween and Christmas, the books that I have come out for the next couple of months after that, I'm thinking of dropping down to just 2 covers. That's it. Just for a little while, because there's so much product to consume. I don't want to sit there with, the next book after a blind bag and I have 5 covers. I'm very conscious of that. So, but if there's the demand, if the fans are out there saying, no, we want more, then, I can crank it back up some. But I also want to make sure every cover is a hit. I don't want to put out a cover that I said, I don't want people to say I phoned it in, things like that either. Where, he just threw this together just to make some money or something. So, yeah, very conscious of that. So again, I'm trying to make it to where retailers will be able to move the product easy. The customer will enjoy it. And then we're also doing a thing where it'll be announced here soon. Lunar was going to announce it through the email blast, I think. I'm not sure if they've done it yet. But we're working together to do a midnight release for stores that want to do that. Some stores can't. You're right. One guy does everything in the store, and he's like, man, I'm tired. I got to go home. But if stores want to do this, we've cleared it with Lunar. It can be sold at midnight. They are dropping the release date, it looks like, because what I'm hearing is the orders are pretty big to where Transcontinental, who does they're the printer that does the blind bags for DC. We want to go someone who has done this before, so no problems. And they're saying that it's going to be put back to October the 8th right? That would be a week
Right.
later.
Yeah. Not October 1st, but October 8th. Yeah.
If somehow next week when the orders come in and they're even double of what they thought, I don't know. They might drop it back even one more week. It'll be out before Halloween, I know. But, we just want to make sure everything's right. I want it to be a good product. I don't want people to get, again, a bad pack out where, all of them's the same cover or something like that. So we'll find that out soon with the orders coming in next week. With the midnight event, we're going to have a thing where we're going to be streaming that night. We can have stores come on. Fans can ask questions. We'll do giveaways. We're doing, all kinds of, it's going to be a huge kind of event again. Because I wanted to bring back something like that to retail that hasn't been done in a long, long time, where, it's an event thing. It's not just like, oh, the book got released.
Well,
So,
you're already doing something that I think is going to change. I think this is going to break records just because Mark, you come from a background of trading cards and comic books. Like you used to like run a shop, right?
Yep.
So what I like about this thing you're doing, like when me and you spoke at my shop, is you're taking the collector aspect and the chase aspect and the like, unlike like a lot of people when they do these variants and stuff like that, what you're doing is you're making it more rare, you're making it more like collectible because things are numbered, there's chases, the one of ones. This is what people collect. They don't when you hear like, oh, I got a 1 in 100 ratio, it's great and all, but it's like there's no stat behind it. Like it's like a 1 in 100, but you don't know what that means.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to make sure we, again, like we've done in the past with KeemSpot, put in there, once we know what the print run's going to be, I want to put in there so cover A, B, C, D, exactly how many were printed.
Right, yeah.
It's going to take you 2 pages to do that because that's a lot of covers.
I sent it over to KeemSpot the other day. We had all the covers finalized, and I said, here you go. Good luck. Because I don't know.
But this is what's going to keep this issue, this particular issue that you did, is going to change things. And I think people are going to follow suit because usually when these new comics come out, that initial first week is when it's all like bought. And then after that, it just sits. And us like coming from comic book community and store owners, I mean, we all know that. With this, there's a constant search for something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're giving people stuff out there to look for because there's so many variants. And then on top of that, the variants, there's the glow in the dark and there's the Night of the Living Dead. And then you have the Garbage Pail Kid homages and then the one of ones. So it's going to be like after the first week, it's not going to die because like there's people going to be chasing these things.
That's what I wanted. Hey, as a kid, when I would walk into Kmart, Walmart, all these places, and Toys R Us and looking for Star Wars or G.I. Joe figures, there was something about the chase, right? Every week you're looking for that. Now, when you get it, you're happy, but the chase is fun as well. And
but that's where you coming from this community, trading cards and the comic book store stuff, you get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the big, huge aspect of this issue by itself is you understand. You're not just bringing in comic collectors with this. You're going to bring in collectors from toys. You're going to bring in collectors from trading cards into this because of the chase instead of just comic collectors.
That's great. I'm hoping. Again, somebody the other day had asked me, a comic guy, and said, "Mark, have you thought like what would it be if you're successful on this? Then it's going to be cloned." With other people doing it. And he said, you're going to accept that responsibility for that? And I was like, but I don't really think I'm doing anything wrong with this. I think it's actually, I'm giving fans what they want. I'm not doing the gimmicky kind of covers. If you think about it, like from the 90s and stuff where it's, I'm
no
trying
bullet holes.
Yeah. I'm trying to do something though, that I know what my fans like. And so I go, in this, we have homages to great pre-code horror, right? I got some of those in there that people still haven't seen and stuff like that I've hidden. Then there's a new original characters that you've never seen before will be on some, because I know some people go, oh, I'm after that. That's what I want. And then like even the Garbage Pail Kids, because I like to have fun with things like that. So it's got a range for almost everybody there, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm just here's my thing. Others can imitate the blind bags and do their version like DC, but hey, but I'm hoping I set a standard to where they're wanting me to do it again, where the customers are sitting there going next Halloween, say, Mark, come on, do another one. That's what I'm hoping. So my thing is to give everybody a great experience. Again, customers, retailers, onliners, if you're flipping the books, whatever you're doing, I don't care. I just want it to be to where you got entertainment out of it. My job is to entertain you, either with reading it, looking at it, putting it on your wall, whatever it is. So I'm trying to give you some good entertainment, and teaming it up with Halloween, a great, holiday. I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens with it.
So let me go to our retailer roundtable here, which is freaking awesome, by the way. I'm super glad to have you guys. Richard, based on what you're hearing here, we can talk about two things. One, we can start with the blind bags themselves and what your thought is about the approach here. And if there's any feedback or thoughts you have on ways that it could be even better. And two, as far as launch events, kickoff events, every store is different. Every store's got, every location is different, got cultures that are different. What kind of kickoff launch event things work for you in your area? All this stuff I think is good for Mark. And I'm talking like I'm your therapist. It's good for you to consider all of these other kind of options, so that as you continue to weigh how can this work for different stores, you know what different stores are thinking and what their mindset is and how their markets work.
I mean, I think the biggest thing I'm hearing here is just Mark's genuine passion and core understanding of why we're all here, which is for fans to be entertained. And so I love where you're coming from and your background and everything that's gone into this, how you figured this all out. The other thing, you have one big advantage. The reason that DC isn't going to get 80 different covers in a book is they're going to have to pay an artist for every one of those 80 different covers. So you definitely have something that's going to be very hard to replicate. And you've come at it. Yeah, you've come at it brilliantly with so much variety and so much variation that, yes, coming back for blind bag after blind bag is great. I'm a hybrid store, so I'm a big Magic the Gathering Pokemon store, and I've been begging people for some variation of blind bags for, I don't know, decades, I feel like. So, so personally,
on that point with Magic the Gathering, a little plug. I got that. I don't know if y'all know the action figure, Man-Wolf action figure that's coming out in
from Hasbro. Yeah,
November. I did the card for that.
Right?
It has my name on it, so I did the front and the back. And stay tuned for more. I'll just say.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, so if you have a comic book shop that does Magic, you're going to really like me in the coming future. So
yeah, when I first saw, that's off topic, but when I first saw Magic crossing over with Marvel, I thought, great, my two best-selling things. That's awesome. No, as far as launch events, I mean, North Dakota, we've been hit and miss. Justice League #1 for New 52, we put a lot into that. We did 2 hours of trivia. We brought in food from 10 to midnight, and we were really successful with New 52 Justice League #1. That worked extremely well. I think all the way back to, I think it was Dark Tower #1 is the first midnight book I remember, and I think I had like 2-3 people walk in the door. So you've got lots of layers of success. What has worked well? Here's the thing, though. You've already put the magic is already in this book, and Wednesday morning, and Wednesday in particular, is where the magic happens. When we've got a hot release, we've got them lined up. Our new store, we haven't had this for a long time at our previous store, but we've opened up on a Wednesday and we've got people in line again like we did back in the 90s. And that's been really exciting. And so that's awesome. Yeah, it is, and so the magic is already there, and so for me, that's already enough. Like you're killing it with this. Am I gonna do a midnight event? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
The product itself is where the magic is. And tying it into that release day, we've seen so many new buyers. I'll quit. We've seen so many new buyers. We're back to square one. When we moved, we didn't realize something, and in conjunction with that, once we started seeing all the new faces because of Absolute Batman and then the Superman movie and things like that, we often forget, because we're insiders, we think everybody knows everything, but they don't. And so you have to go back to basics sometimes. So we're back to Wednesday morning is when new comics release, and so to a lot of us that seems so fundamental, but that's just something we've had to realize is like, oh, this is amazing, right? And so that's already a big thing for us, training people that way anyway. So I don't have an answer on midnight, but those are the things that have worked for us before when we've been able to build a model around, a party around it. We did DC trivia, we did giant Subway sandwiches and food sales on Justice League character books, things like that. So if we're able to stick into it and use the main product as the meat, then those were the ones that have worked the most.
Gotcha. Oh, I want to say real quick, Josh, because Richard kind of it reminded me of something. Because all the retailers incentives. Okay, so we have the 3 incentives out there. KeenSpot in the past sold their incentives on their website, right? Mm-hmm. And I had somebody last year reach out and say, "Hey, foul, something's wrong here. Why are you selling it?" I think it was Cover Price. Said, "What's going on here?" We had people ask about it. So I reached out. KeenSpot said, "We're only selling," because they've always done it. Of course, again, they used to be very small, right? Where a couple thousand orders a month. They said they've always done it in pre-orders, and then they don't order any more than that. And that's what they said. And if they're selling it on their website after it comes out, it's because they, someone backed out of it or something, right? So that was the explanation I got last December. So San Diego Comic-Con happens, and I hear that on there, because I didn't go, they had some of my incentives there. And I'm like, how do you from past incentives? I got told it was a miscommunication because they had the damages that they over order when they weren't, when they were put out for damages or whatever, those then went to them to sell. So once I found that out, nope, can't do that no more. So they do not have, if you look on their website, I made them take off all the incentives for this book. They're not doing that. I'm not going to allow, because that's another thing I think is valuable to retailers. If someone buys the 500 books to get that away from it, I don't want it to be devalued because KeenSpot is selling it for a certain amount because they have unlimited supply. Exactly. No, they ain't doing that. So I wanted to make sure I addressed that because it just hit me. Yes. So on this one, and I made them stop it for all the other ones, and the ones that they had over are coming to me. So KeenSpot's not selling those anymore. So I'll have all those. But I want to make sure incentives that's the gift to the retailer. That's not a gift to me. That's not a gift to KeenSpot. That's a gift to the retailer specifically, because you chose to buy 1,000 of these or 250 of these or 500 or whatever it is going to be. And I want to make sure the value is there for that book. So, whatever I have to do on that. But yes, for incentives going forward, you do not have to worry about a KeenSpot with Monster and the Wolf going, "Oh, we're selling the 1,000 one because we have so many." No, they won't have it. They already put on there out of stock. I think it was. All this was done at San Diego Comic-Con. So they will not be able to do that going forward. So again, I'm thinking about the retailer and the customer and the aftermarket. Even though I'm not really involved in the aftermarket, I don't want to where they buy a book from Richard and somebody tries to sell it a month later and gets $1, pennies on the dollar for it. I don't want that to happen. So I want it to be where everything is valued. So, and then to keep it that way. So again, on that, if y'all had any questions on incentives, only retailers are getting those incentives, and they have to cross the threshold to get them. So,
Thank you for that. That's awesome.
oh, you're welcome.
There's a lot of people that go to bat for it like that. I'm telling you, it's a special thing.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a midnight release at our shop.
Are you going to do, Marco?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Let me give it back to Josh. I don't want to, Josh, I went away. You go around the table. I don't want to.
No, it's good. Go ahead, Marco.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, Mark, you saw the kind of response we got when you were there. We had people in line at 3:00 in the morning waiting for you. I'm definitely going to do a midnight release. We already have like a DJ coming. We've got a couple actors from the Terrifier coming. I mean, we're going all out.
Sweet. Well, I'll definitely reach out to you, Marco. We're going to live stream that night. We're going to do some giveaways. I'm even going to do a thing, I think, where the best store display, and we're going to have like the internet vote on it. And then I'm going to give something to the store. We're going to do maybe cosplay, like best cosplay. If we have enough stores do this, we'll do something like that where I'll send that person something. So, I'll send you something about it, to some more stuff. Right now, again, we're in limbo of, is it what date? I believe it's going to be October 7th, that night now until midnight. So, but we'll know for sure next week after the numbers come in. But
I'm really torn on whether we'll do a midnight release, man. I don't know.
Oh, I did just look back to the incentive covers for just a moment. And on King Spot's website, you can see the incentive covers, but if you try to select them, it automatically says sold out on every single one of them.
He did that instead of removing them, but so that the people could see the picture. And I think it was easier than him just taking them down. But he did it that night when I asked him. So again, I don't want to act like because I mean, no people watch me everywhere and they'll be like writing articles tomorrow. Mark's unhappy with King Spot. No. They're great over there. I just wanted to fix this issue that I thought was out there because I think retailers should be the only ones with incentives.
I was going to say, Jen, would you go with the hair up or would you go with the bride's new haircut that she just got from Igor?
I don't know. I kind of like you have to do the beehive for like the normal public, right? Because they're not all keen to the changes.
That's true.
That's true.
Oh, speaking of that, I was just at the mall earlier today. Spencer's is getting all their Halloween shirts out. I could see they're redoing it. They have boxes out there. We're supposed to have Mark Spears Monsters t-shirt at Spencer's in the next couple weeks. It's going to be before Halloween. So you might be able to, go tell your customers and go get them some shirts over there. Bride is one of the shirts with her new haircut. There's the Vampire Dracula from issue 1. I think it was 1C or D. That image is on a shirt. So a lot of cool shirts. I think there's 5 in all that they started coming out with, and they'll all be out within weeks from now because they're going to have.
I still got beef with you over these not coming in my size because I'm enormous.
Well, I did look at it. Didn't I sit there and say I think 3X or 4X was the biggest one or something like that? I can't remember.
That's not going to cut it.
We can have somebody sew 2 together. We could do that. 2 of them together, maybe.
I think as much as everyone's going to want me to do the bride, I think I know who the strongest one of all the monsters are. So you might see me crossplay as the count because he's.
Well, I was going to say if y'all have not seen Jen's Crow cosplay that she did, that was on point. That was amazing.
I make a sexy dude.
That was impressive. Travis, I don't know if you're still on, but as far as this goes, and like the blind bags themselves, the midnight release kind of idea, or any other kind of release ideas, what do you think sounds good? What do you think works for your store, your market, and the entire state of California, since you're representing?
Oh, pressure. We have done midnight releases in the past a few times for. What was it, like Court of Death Metal or Darkness Metal years ago, DC Rebirth #1, maybe Action 1000. So it's got to be the right book for sure. I don't think we'll do it this time. Sorry, but I do have one customer who put down I think 50, maybe 75 copies for the wolf. And then I'll definitely push this in my weekly FOC email tomorrow for sure, because we got that email from Lunar this morning, and all the possible covers that are in the blind bag. They look awesome. So good job on those. They're all like different, and it's a good idea though to offer the midnight release. Some stores will do it for sure. It's but we'll go a little bigger than planned on this one. Yeah, it sounds great.
Well, I think it's kind of like Richard said earlier. You have to make it an event, right? You can't just we're having a midnight release. You have to like do things to make it an event.
Well, you can do it. You can do it in a good event, even on that Wednesday, right? You don't have to be a midnight release to where you're have a cool display, and I think or you even wait till it's closer to Halloween and do something special one night, and people. I think they'll. This kind of product is made for kind of events. You can do anything with it. You could do it later. You could do it on Halloween night and say, "Hey, we're gonna have some of these. We're gonna open up 5 and give away whatever's inside to the whoever's inside the store at that time." So it's just
Halloween's Friday night. So
yeah. Halloween being a Friday night, that would definitely be a good night to do it. I did look at one of these incentive covers, and I think I might have to fight Josh over this one.
Well, you have to fight, all right.
There is also, if you haven't heard, we're doing this for Monsters issue 8 for Christmas. It's called the Krampus blind bag, basically.
Right.
And it's basically, I wanted to do it a lot smaller, but they were like, man, if we could just do the same ratios, it would be easier to work on them.
And you're like, how many elves do you think I have in my pocket doing the art?
Right. So I'm sitting there going, okay, so we're doing that. It's going to be released around Thanksgiving, right? That week of Thanksgiving, which is Thanksgiving's always later the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's the 27th this year, I think.
But right now, I have all the covers done except a lot of the themed Santa ones. Like I wanted to have some in there, like some evil elves, some just some people were saying, like what is it? Like stockings with body parts and stuff. So I'm going to do all kinds of
stockings on the mantle with the feet still in it. Oh my God, no.
So I'm going to do some themed stuff like that too. But I'm hoping the Halloween's so successful that when the Christmas one comes out, people will want to grab that too. Because I don't think it'll do as big of numbers, because you got to think people are going to gamble, the retailers, on the first one. They don't have time to see how the Halloween one did before the orders come in on the Christmas one, right? So I do think it'll be ordered less, but I do think they'll be very sought after, and it's for Monsters number 8, which is the last of that chapter. Like something else happens in number 9. So I
love a headless horseman riding a zombie reindeer. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I see that would be something really cool to put in there. So
Steve also from the Spinner Rack, he said maybe do a group blind bag opening, just like have a party where you guys open the bags and see what everybody got. That does sound fun. Actually.
What we used to do at trading cards, because back when I was a kid, I used to go to the shows and set up selling trading cards, like baseball cards and stuff. We would do it where everybody opened a pack, me and the other retailers, and whoever had the highest card of all those packs, they got them all. We would do like a little event like that. Wow. So you can do the same thing where whatever number cover, whoever got the highest numbered cover in there, like, because there's so many, they get all the covers.
Hey, so let me answer this question for Nosh real quick. Nosh, when you go to your shop and you just tell them you want the monster and the wolf number 1, it's going to be a blind bag.
All the way.
So you're already covered there. My only recommendation, and this is something I feel so hypocritical for saying, because I'm about reading comics and I'm about like the stories and all that kind of stuff. But buy more than one cover. You're going to want it.
So, Spoon Man, I wanted a family of corpses sitting around a Christmas tree and Norman Bates serving them eggnog. That's what I was asking for.
I could do that without it being
Hey,
Norman Bates.
if you don't have grandma out in the snow, like with the reindeer tracks
where she got
across
run
her,
over by, I can do that. I can
you
do
did
that.
it wrong. You
Yeah.
got to.
Mark,
How
I
does
think I've got an idea for our event. I think I want to do
Okay.
Monster Prom and have a Monster Mash.
That's a great idea.
Oh, that is a good one.
We were actually going to title at one time
Monster
the
Prom
Unholy
is
Grails
great.
as like a masquerade or a Halloween ball. That was one of the ideas, but we went with Unholy Grail. But that's a great idea. That would
Now,
be really
see,
cool.
if Josh does the midnight release, I will probably show up and just cosplay as myself, complaining about being awake at midnight.
Yeah, I can see that. And you
That's
would look like a
true,
zombie.
and you know we're going to do it. We have to do it. Monster Prom is a great idea. That's fantastic. It is the monster and the wolf. You are going to want to get the monster and the wolf. And if they don't know about the blind bags, make sure they look into it and figure out what all's going on there, because it's a lot and it's awesome.
Yeah.
With
hang on, Alan.
Oh,
go ahead, Richard.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, just tying in the idea of going all in. So that Monster Prom idea is great. The gentleman who's having actors and DJ and all that. That's all how you want to do it. It's not just the product itself, it's creating that event experience for customers, right? It's making a memory. And like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm 55. I moved my store a year ago. I keep saying I moved over here not to be boring, and so always trying to spin something cool. We do an annual Halloween event called Nerdy Ween. And we do costume contests and giveaways, and this year we're adding an arts and crafts show outside with 10 dealers. Sold most of those tables already. So moving this to that, or having copies left to do something with that makes a lot of sense. The only other thing I have to contribute to the special events is my favorites so far have been the ones that do a Tuesday night release, but do it at like 7:00 at night. It's kind of like when movies used to be midnight, but they gave up on that. They've moved everything up to 6 or 7. You don't want to lose the specialness, but I do think that I like that a lot. But the one thing I would absolutely love to see happen is somebody go all in on a hold a book for a Saturday event. I would just love to see a launch that was on a Saturday at 10 a.m. or noon or whatever. And believe me, I understand the logistical nightmare. But that is the one thing that stands out the most to me. I think would be awesome. So,
as far as the midnight versus 7:00 or what have you, Richard, it's midnight somewhere. You accidentally set your clock to England time. Oh my!
I mean, my comic manager is from England, so we'll just So
you have an excuse.
Yeah, and Rich Johnston says that people are selling Batman #1s already anyway. So yeah,
drives me nuts. But what I'm hearing, and you guys correct me if I'm misspeaking for you or speaking out of turn, but what I'm hearing is the blind bags seem to be well thought out and will be beneficial for your stores.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then the idea of supporting an event, which Mark is like trying to figure out, how do I support events that retailers want to do? That also sounds beneficial, although the day, the timing, those kind of things may not be uniform for everybody as the most feasible thing. Is that accurate? Did you guys feel that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like people's like customer bases are all different. Like
they are.
I'll be 100% upfront. My customer base sleeps in, so every single free comic book day, when everyone else has a giant line out in front of theirs, we don't have that. Everyone shows up at noon, no matter what is going on. It doesn't matter who I have as a guest. And I always have to tell them, like, it's okay. Don't be worried. So I think it's the same probably for like maybe someone has an afternoon release parties because they know their customer base is not staying up till midnight or whatever.
So something I've thought about, and I have kind of, I'll throw it at you guys, see what y'all think. Mark, see what you think. See if it's feasible for you to even do or support. A couple of things I think. You talked about the incentives and making sure that those are like only the retailers have those for ordering all the books and stuff, right? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when you just unexpectedly get a book in a shipment and it's a retailer incentive cover you had no idea was coming, and it's just a thank you to retailers, it's the dumbest thing in the world most of the time. But that resonates with me as a guy who's like, I'm putting in these orders and I thank you. I appreciate that. It seems like a small thing, but I really appreciate that, especially if it's a book that I'm really torn about because I want to keep it, but it's also one that I can sell and it can like cover my rent for the month. That's glorious. That's glorious. I think those are great if that's ever something you have the time and inclination to do. I assume you guys feel similarly about that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's an expensive thing, so I'm always very thankful for them when they show up.
Yeah.
It's like I am definitely not the retailer that complains about the extra 2 cents or whatever it costs to ship to me.
Those people drive me up a wall. Like, what is wrong with you?
I think I looked into it. The only problem is at Lunar, they will not let me do. They wouldn't let me at Diamond. I tried to do it last year at Diamond. Lunar will not let me do it right now, but maybe after this for like issue 2 or something, just like, hey, here's a thank you for what you did. You know, I have no problem about doing it. I would like to do that. I would like to send signage for free to all the stores who order things.
Oh Lord, that would be amazing.
That is a nightmare that they're saying that they want to charge me like so much.
No, I know.
It's not me printing the poster. Like, I'll cover that. It's they're wanting to charge me so much to give the poster to Richard, to give the poster to, but I can just mail it myself, you know, or something. So I might have to start doing something like that on my own, where I get a list of stores and just actually, you know, send it that way.
Right now.
So I think that's something I would like to do. It's just the one reason the blind bags came out that way was because Lunar was not going to allow me to do more than 4 covers for anything, right? And that's with one incentive. So then it was 3 covers. So that being said, that's when I said, hey, if I did a blind bag, I could do whatever covers I want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that got started when I started thinking of that, because I hadn't had a number 1 in a year. This would be the first number 1 issue I've had out there since Monsters. And I was like, this would be kind of cool. So that's why that happened. But I would love to do that. When I get some more pull, maybe I will be able to do that in the industry, to be able to send things out like that. Because
I don't know what it takes to get more pull, man. Golly.
I tell you,
that must be some powerful currency.
I'm hoping they will allow me to do, you know, like whatever covers I want. Like if I had an idea to where, hey, I'd like to do this 5 cover connecting cover or something, they would let me do it. Right now, I was told I had to wait 90 days. Then after that, I was told I had to wait. So we'll see. Hopefully, you know, something like that will happen. It just popped into my head. We also have for retailers, Spawn 77's getting this close to being done. I'm on issue 4, and they're looking at maybe a March or January, February, March release, somewhere that they haven't decided yet. So that's going to be pretty big, and I don't know what all go with it, like what all covers. I know Todd will do a cover, and I'm going to do 1 or 2 covers, and so that's going to be a big event too. So I'm glad they did not have it come out at the same time the blind bags are. It's just a little, you know, too much. I'm glad they're waiting a few months. So that'll be nice.
Okay, so shifting gears just a little bit, and I did ask permission before I'm bringing this up. So I have actually read, and Josh has read Monster and the Wolf issue number 1 already. y'all are not going to have any problems selling this story whatsoever. I'm not going to give away any spoilers or anything, but there's so much meat on this bone that it's not even funny. I mean, it's a phenomenal read, just the story itself. So
Man,
y'all will not
I
have
owe
any
Alan
reason-
some money after this.
No, I mean,
like that.
I mean, I'm a big reader, and that's what I like. And I like trying to figure out where the story's actually going.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, I can't. And that actually makes me mad. So I'm now forced to buy the second issue.
Exactly. I hate it when I know there's no reason to buy 2 and 3 because I know exactly what you're going to do. Right? The guy's going to say, get the girl at the end. He's going to save the world. I don't like those stories. So I did that on purpose. But I'm glad you liked it. I haven't had many people have read it. So that tickles me that you enjoyed it. Because I didn't have, when I wrote it and finished it, it was just going to be like just a regular #1 issue. And then Blind Bags happened, and I'm like, wow, does this issue stand up to be something that's ordered 100 to 200,000 times? You know, is it that good? So I'm glad, y'all guys got to read it and enjoyed it. So
honestly, it's one of those rare reads where you literally read the first issue and you're just like, okay, here you go, Netflix, just do this. Do this, and we're going to be just fine.
That's a good point. When is the trade coming out, Mark?
I had heard last from King Spot that comic book retailers will get the trade in December, and then bookstores would get it in January. So y'all would have a whole month to sell it before that. That's what I've
Christmas
heard.
Presents.
But I have not approved the proofs. So it makes me wonder, like, how are they going to get that thing printed in that length of time? Unless I did approve the proofs and I have forgotten, which could happen. But I can't wait. It's going to be a hardcover. I don't know the price point on it yet, but I think it's going to include at least 4 issues, maybe 5, and some covers. So, and we even talked about adding. Okay, when I did #1, I had to take out a few pages.
You didn't take out that one page that Josh modeled for, did you?
No, when I released #1,
I did not.
When I released #1, I had taken out some pages because I didn't know if King Spot was really strict on the number. I found out later on they'll print whatever I do, right? If it's 27 pages, they'll print it. So there's a couple of pages I might add back into the trade, which gives it a little something to, right? Like, hey, this is the story you've read, but there's a couple of extra pages now. You can, get a little bit more out of it. And I like that. This is like you can revisit something. It's like, hey, here's the director's cut. So that would be nice. So we might add those back in there if we have time.
Then we've got a question. Original cover art on the trade?
As far as I know, they were using issue 1 cover A that I recolored greenish colors. So it would still resemble 1A cover. But I don't know. That's what we had to do to solicit it or something 6 months ago when I turned that in. So if there is a chance to do alternate ones with different covers or something, or, if they let us do that, I would love to do that just so people can pick the cover they like the best, right? If you have a favorite character, maybe that's on the cover. So
jumping back to promotional kind of things, and Jen had to jump off, so I hate to lose her, but I'm pretty sure I know what her answer would be to this. Richard and Travis, I'm curious about you guys. And this is just me thinking about things that might be good to do. I don't, again, whether you have the time or inclination to do them, Mark, I don't know. But if you were to have an event, whatever your event might be at your shop, and you could set it up to like for Mark to dial in to a Zoom call or something and talk specifically to your store and your customers for like 15 minutes or something. Yep. Would that be something that your folks would resonate with, or would they be like, yeah, whatever, just let me wear the bags?
Oh no, I think that's a really fun idea. So here's the thing about Fargo, North Dakota. We don't get guests, it turns out, up here in Fargo, right? So anything that gives, but our fans are super appreciative anytime that they get a guest or get attention. We had, in fact, the way we announced, we had Chris Claremont up here 3 years ago for my 30th anniversary. And the way we announced him, we got him to do a live Zoom call. So we invited a whole bunch of people in and they didn't know what they were there for. And there was Chris Claremont, so like that worked amazing. So yeah.
Travis, is that something that your store would get stoked for? Your store's plural?
Could be. Yeah, for sure. We, like I said, the one more than the other, probably. I think we've done that a couple times, the call in with, like Scott Snyder for metal and, maybe somebody else, just work out day and time. But yeah, it's a good idea. It's always a good idea and concept for a big, event like this. Yeah.
I just know from my store's perspective, when they get to actually talk to a guy or hear from a guy,
Yep.
That they're more likely to want to support that guy. Right. They want to read that guy's stuff. They want to look at that guy's art. They're more likely to say, "Oh, I feel like I know that person. I want to support that guy. I want to buy another cover or whatever."
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, Mark, if that's something that you think would be
I would
something
love
you could
to
work
do that.
into your schedule, but
sounds
like a fun
I would
idea.
love to do that, to fix it around to where even if they're doing an event on a Saturday or whatever, Halloween event, whatever, if I got the time that day to do it, I'd love to jump on a Zoom, say hi to all their customers and stuff, answer questions. That's one thing when we do that mid-out event, we're going to hook up with the Beyond Wednesdays crew because they're going to host it over the streaming. And I'm just going to get on there and they're going to have different stores pop in, show us their store, talk and answer questions and all that. But if it's not that night, I would love to do a, the phone where it's just me. I'll call them up, FaceTime them. That's great. But yeah, the more that I can interact with the fans in the stores, I'm all for it. Whatever I can do, whatever time I can set aside for that, because it's to me they've invested their dollars buying my product. I can invest my time to say hi to them and answer some questions for them and hype up the event, the store, the retail experience, everything.
That's awesome. I just, it's a little bit different from us because you live pretty close by, right?
Yeah.
But we've had other things in the past where we have had comic book creators like call in and we have it up on the screen at the store and everybody can see you can see them, and it's a conversation. And it's not very long. It's like 15 minutes because they were calling like 45, 50 stores that night, right? So I'm sure they were exhausted by that. But it's the kind of thing, especially if an event like this is spaced out and somebody's doing it on Halloween Day or they're doing it on Saturday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon.
Yep.
I think it might be something that might be doable, and I think it would be beneficial I think the customers would get a lot out of it. I think the retailers would get a lot out of it, and I think that ultimately it would be beneficial for you because you make more people who have that relationship, and now they want to support you. I tell our folks all the time when we have comics creators on the show. We just had Joe Pruitt on the show again last week. Like, if you like the art, you like what people are creating and they're good folks, support them. Buy what they're putting out. So buy it at the comic shop. Support your local shop. That's important because that's the ecosystem. That's what keeps everybody going, right? That's how we all perpetuate this, and we keep this hobby that we love. We keep it going. And I think it was Richard earlier, or maybe it was Travis, who said that what you're doing, coming from this place of I get it, I get the fan side, I get the retailer side, I get the creator side, and you kind of bring those things all together. I think you've got that more than a lot of creators that we talk to. And I think that's one of the reasons that you're successful now. And I think it's one of the reasons that you can continue to be successful for a long time to come.
I appreciate it.
because of that. And so like I said, I wanted to have all these guys on tonight to talk and get the perspective of other folks across the country. And see what they're thinking. So, Travis, Richard, anything that you have questions about, any ideas, any feedback, anything that you just want to throw out to put a bug in Mark's ear? He loves those. He's got earworms for days. He's just singing all the time. But this is a good opportunity for folks to connect to other retail shops with you, so you can hear what's going on in their markets.
Everything so far sounds great. Good that you're so connected to fans and stuff. I know even Discord. I know one of my big customers of yours is on there too. So he's probably watching this.
Oh, awesome.
But the call thing. What's funny about the call-in idea is that when we had it was so long ago, right? So when someone like Scott Snyder did for Death Metal or Dark Knights, that was like 2016, before Zoom was even a thing. So for if you were to do that now, it'd be a little more interactive.
Right.
So everything sounds great so far. Like I said, I'll do the put on my weekly email tomorrow and see what other orders come in.
Awesome.
Speaking of Discord, for those of you watching, this is Mark Spears' Discord channel. There's some cool people in there. There's some strange people in there. Heroes Reborn. I'm still not sure about that guy.
He's thinking the same thing about Breedlove Asylum, I guarantee you.
He probably is. He still can't get over the glow of this gorgeous head. We know how it is.
What were you about to say, Richard?
Well, yeah, it's just an interesting time because you have become such a big success, and I don't know, when you put out Monsters #1 and saw the initial orders, this became such an organic, fan-led success story, and it wasn't manufactured by a big corporation. It didn't have an IP. It just grew from what was #1, like forgive me, like 6,000 print run was the first print, or
I think all the copies, even exclusives and everything that we did, was around 9,000 and something. So we kind of round that up to 10, just make it sound better. But about 10,000. So, but of cover 1 through 5, A, B, C, D, E, and all that you would got in retail, none extended like 2,000. One of them was 1,000. So that tells you right there, they were very low print run. And honestly, when I heard the numbers, I didn't know is 9,000, 10,000. Is that a good amount? And Cute Spot was like, oh, that's most we've ever got before. And then for it to, grow the next month, we actually grew. And then I knew something was weird because #1 usually is the highest, 2 goes down. And that's when I realized something was growing. And then when we went to, I think it was issue 4, we got up to 80,000 units. Yeah. So it's just been awesome. And it is that's why I owe it all to the fans and retailers, because there was not one dime spent in advertising, even to this day. Keen Spot doesn't do that, doesn't do marketing. And we don't have anybody writing up articles about us, saying how, hey, look what's happening over here. We've actually been optioned for a TV movie, and that's like no one even talks about it. So with big studios, so it's that's interesting. I think even after this, after we do the blind bags and say it's the #1 book in October, I do not think there'll be one article written. It's weird. It's just but you know what? We don't need that. We have the fan base. It's just like grew organically. And that's the best thing you could ever get, because that means they're true fans that really like the product and want it to grow and to succeed. So I'm grateful every day that it's happened. Did not think it would be a success because every publisher turned it down. Everybody, Image turned it down twice. Boom turned it down. Dark Horse turned it down. I went through the list. I talked to all of them. Mad Cave turned it down. Massive turned it down. And for it to do what it did was so interesting because everybody else counted it out, said it's not even worth printing. And for it to do what it did, because I went with them, I went to all those publishers saying, I don't want a thing for it. Don't pay me anything. You just will split the revenue, right? 50-50. Nope. Won't do it. So it's not like I went in there and said, give me 10,000 for it. Then I want, the split. So it's just amazing. It's just, it's something I couldn't even dream about that I couldn't have dreamed this big, really, that it's doing as well as it's doing. And then to even contemplate that I might have a book in the top 10 list in October is just mind blowing. So yeah, grateful every day that I get to do this. That's why I'm just like, I want to make sure I'm doing something for the fans and the retailers, because I would not have the life I have if it wasn't for those two groups. So
see, Monsters is weird for me for the simple fact that I remember sitting here a year and a half, maybe even almost 2 years ago, and the three of us are talking back and forth. We're not live. This was after a show that you had come on just to hang out for a little while, and you were like, hey, this is what I'm working on. Y'all check it out. What do you think? And you literally, one of the things you said that night was, I just hope somebody likes it.
Yeah. I mean, it was done for me. It was done because I enjoyed it. And I was hoping when the Kickstarter was fulfilled that people wouldn't get upset. They would enjoy it. But then people started, the feedback from the Kickstarter when they read it said, you need to have this in comic book store. And then I said, well, I'll try one more time. So even after the success of the Kickstarter, which wasn't that great, what about 57,000, I think it raised. When I went back to Image, back to all these, and said, hey, it raised this much. We don't want it. We'll pass. So it's
We're kicking ourselves the way my wife kicked me when she found out how much money I'm spending on blind bags. What do you mean you told your wife? Alan has a patent pending method for dealing with that. You get
a timeout, flag on the play. We do not discuss what happens at Haven stays at Haven.
Okay. We have another customer, Tots, has a patent pending way for dealing with this. You ring up this many books and you print up a receipt. And then you ring up the rest of the books and you throw that receipt in the trash.
Oh, somebody's gonna be in trouble.
It's just Tots. It's okay.
Well, the last thing I was going to say was like, we're in this interesting time now. The model we've had for so long is a shattered model, and so how a new publisher, new entity reaches the fans and customers is all different. It's not, it was centralized in Previews magazine. I mean, that's where everything came from forever. But now we've got all this different stuff. You're reaching, you're building an audience, a relationship direct to your customers through social media, and they're coming to me. It's just a really fascinating time. And I looked at Ignition Press is launching, and I liked their murder podcast #1, but I thought, how is anyone going to know this exists if they don't make those social media connections, because everything else is sort of busted. And so you're up against your point to get let's say you get a $500,000 or 500,000 issue order would be awesome in a time where you've got so much inability to reach all retailers. Even you aren't even going to tell every retailer. 20% of the retailers were still at Diamond as of 2 months ago.
That boggles my mind.
They're not going to know that this
they're
thing
not.
exists.
Yeah, this is our first time we didn't go through Diamond, right? The Monster the Wolf is the first time Keenspot did not solicit through Diamond, and that was odd. I made sure when the Monster series came out, and I took a gamble on it, thinking, I already had it done, but I was thinking I had a little bit of success with the Bond covers coming out, with that Lobo cover from Action, which just sold for $1,000. I saw on eBay last night. That Action Comics Lobo cover.
With him sitting at the table.
Yeah, him at the table.
Superman cape as his napkin tucked into his shirt. That's
so
great.
I was hoping, I'd only done a few covers, but I was hoping retailers would know that name from the Spawn books I did, just only 4 at that time, and then the some of the Action Comics, which only had a few. And I said, maybe that will make them go, let's order a few. But honestly, I think retailers ordered very low on it. Again, you know, it was just enough of my fans went in there and said, order me this, you know, and they went, oh, what is that? You know, I wasn't going to even order any. So it is crazy to think about in this day and age that book. And it's hard to duplicate, like you're saying. How do you reach that audience now? You can't buy a preview full page on the ad from the previews. There is no previews. So how do you let retailers know that you even have a product now? You know, because even back then I thought I bought the previews. I flipped through it 3 times and I never even saw my stuff in there. I couldn't find it. You know, previews was very hard I couldn't even find Keen Spot stuff. So it was
at the back.
Yeah, it was way back. So that's the thing right now. It's very tough for retailers to know what even to take a chance on, because I remember that back in the day. And then it's also customers don't even hear about it. So like Ignition Press, there's other small ones out there that are, you know, doing good stuff, but who hears about it unless it's YouTube, which is really good. YouTube is kind of the new wizard nowadays, right? If you watch some of these shows, you hear guys, hey, that book over there is pretty good. I've read it. So that's kind of what you have to do.
Hey, that's what we do on here.
Exactly. Review.
We just need more people to watch it.
But it's that interrelationship is what's so critical, because you're out there, you're generating fans from the ground up. It wasn't Keen Spot who generated them. It wasn't me who did it. It was you who did it. You're leading the way. You're generating them. But yeah, I mean, to get 500,000 copies, you've got to have retailers all go in the same direction and informed and excited, and that's a really hard thing. So.
Yeah, we'll see where the numbers lie. It would be, I tell you, it would be something else if it got up. If it gets over 200,000, I would probably be a little shocked. But I'm hearing some people saying it could be 400. If it's over 400,000, that means we beat King Spawn, which did really good because of it came out in 2021, right, during the pandemic. So the numbers were high for the first issue of the branch, you know, of the spinoff Spawn series, right, in the last 30 years. So that and then Battle Beast, those two numbers are in the like 400,000, 390,000 range. So if we could beat that, that would be huge. We'd be the first the first book to ever do that since Image back in the 90s.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we're doing our part to help, Mark, because
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you know how small we are. I mean, we're a tiny little store, right? But we've got 2 different customers who have ordered 100 copies each of the blind bags. We had a customer that ordered 50 copies each of the blind bags. We've had others that have done 10 and 15 and 20. I'm looking at bare minimum, and I've already done it for my initial order before I make any adjustments here at FOC. This is the single highest comic book we have ever ordered of anything ever, including free comic book day books. We're ordering through the roof. So yeah, it's exciting. And if I look at what we're ordering, and if I think other people are going to order similar numbers, you're going to come out just fine.
See, I'm personally holding off until, and I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner or later. One day, Mark's wife is going to show up at Haven, and she's going to say, I can't take it anymore. Get this stuff out of my house now.
She'll show up in a U-Haul and she'll say, take this back to my house and empty it out.
And I'm just going to run through Mark's house with a shopping cart, just pushing stuff off into it.
Let me ask you guys this, because I got at least 3 intelligent people.
3 retailers,
here. Yeah, three intelligent retailers. I don't know what Alan is, but
we can't figure that one out.
Okay,
Science is still studying
during this
that.
stream, I got someone just contacted me about 30 minutes ago and said, "Have you heard about Batman blind bags?" And I'm like, "What?" no, that they not that they exist, but what happened? And I'm like, "What happened?" You know, because I've been on here. They already got loose. I don't know if y'all know that where they're opening them. So they wrote me, said, "You've got to do something with, I got to write Keen Spot, Lunar." Because how would y'all as retailers, what should I do about that? Because look, you don't want the guy somewhere else opening all of them that Saturday before release. You get what I'm saying? 5 days before, and they're all over on eBay. And then a guy from your store says, "Oh, I don't want the 10 I got. I just bought them from so-and-so because he's, So it's a thing where that also happened with Battle Beast. If you remember, they were open before release date. So I need to get with Keen Spot to talk to Lunar about there has to be consequences if people open these and are selling these before, the release date, because that's the problem. You don't want to spoil the fun for everybody is what it is.
Well, some few marketeers and profiteers don't care about anybody else. They just want to make the money, and they see that as their path to that. I fully agree. Street date is a thing, and it should be treated as such. And people who violate street date should have consequences. But I tell you, the market right now, that's not being enforced anywhere by anybody. There is nothing that's happening to prevent that.
See, that's the problem. I think Lunar will say, "Sure, we'll send out a note about that," but it won't be enforced, right?
Yep. I mean, that's when you ban an account. To me, like, you can't do that again.
Yeah, that's what they should do, because you're basically because people are going to get them. Richard will get his a different day than you will, Josh, and Travis will get his a different day. It's just where you're located, right? So you might get them that Friday, that Saturday, whatever. Some people might not even get them till Monday. And if someone's already selling them for a week before release date, that hurts you. And, and Comic-Con is around that time, right? Comic-Con will be New York Comic-Con will be that weekend. So, but if we had to postpone it one more week, I think they show up at New York Comic-Con regardless.
They would.
They would. So that's why I want to kind of hit that week, but we'll see. But I will.
What do you think, Richard? What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, Richard, Travis, if y'all want to weigh in on that, what steps should I take, or any thoughts on it?
I have thoughts, but I want to hear Travis's.
Travis is working hard. He's wearing me out. Travis is working so hard, it's making me tired.
That's true. I think Travis is doing something. So you go ahead, Richard.
So yeah, my take is, so you're right. I mean, yes, we all agree, and don't take anything I'm going to say as anything other than I would love to see the rules back.
I agree.
And I don't mean to sound like this is always going to sound like I'm a Diamond champion, and I'm not entirely. It's just that during Diamond we had rules, and they were enforced, and now we have this free for all. Yeah, but I think at this point, this is what you got to do. You've got to accept that that's going to happen, and you got to bake that into your plan. You know they're going to be out there. You know people are going to be selling them, and your only option, you can't stop it. So accept it and lean into it. Now play off of it. The only thing I'll say is I don't agree that it'll kill the excitement. I actually think it hyped up the Battle Beast. I think it's part of why Battle Beast did so well is because people did see all the things that were suddenly available.
You got to want more.
Yep.
Like it's what is it called? Yep. Fear of
FOMO went nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if I were you, I mean, I think that's just that's all you can do because you're not going to stop it from happening. But hell, partner with somebody. Like, I mean, I don't know that you should show up on somebody's Whatnot show. That may not be a good idea. But I mean, I play with it and have fun with it. Just you can't put this genie back in this bottle right now, and so you've got to use it to your advantage. It's an advertising tool for you.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yep, they're paying a lot of money to open your books and advertise them to my customers, because my customer, it's not a zero-sum gain. The guy buying on Whatnot wasn't buying from my shop anyway. So I don't know. I'm not going to have a popular opinion, but that's my take on it.
I think actually, Richard, that's a great opinion, because all they're going to do is, if those books get out there and they're already selling for like $100 for one cover, it's going to make your customers go, what's in my bags over at Richard's place?
Yep,
I might have that same one. I'm something better, because we're doing so many different covers. I think that actually, it doesn't hurt it. If nothing else, it creates the hype, the fear of missing out, and also the golden ticket thing, because it might mean, hey, the ones at Richard's place might have the ticket. I want that one. So,
well, I think first of all, Sick has got the best punishment ever there in the comments. That's hysterical.
Force number 1.
That's wow. You can order again, but only after you sell these.
Yeah.
But you'll see. I don't know if I've ever told you, Mark, but Richard and I maintain a dialogue pretty regularly, talking kind of the philosophy of what we're doing, why we do it, what's going on at the stores. And I learn a lot from Richard every time I talk to him, and I really appreciate his perspective.
I do too.
Just a great guy. Great.
Yeah. I'm going to be reaching out to Richard from now on and asking some questions. I loved it because, hey, you can't just say, I'm going to go out and find 20 comic book retailers and get their opinions. Every comic retailer is different, because this isn't a franchise business, really. This is, one store behaves totally different from another store. But so the more opinions you can get of what his experience is like with his customers and what they enjoy is different than what Haven Comics customers are and what they enjoy and everything.
Well, I mean, Travis has 2 stores, and both of his have different personalities, right?
Exactly.
He's got one store that's got a lot of fans of yours, and the other store fewer.
So he has one good store.
Harsh, bro.
He's not wrong. Yeah, I mean, everybody with multiple stores knows it's even this city could be different.
Yeah.
The one that has in Monterey is the busier store for sure. But that's mostly because the other one's closed a couple days a week, and Monterey's attracts tourists worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even before COVID and everything, we've always just sold more novels and manga and kid stuff here than versus the other one, just because demo.
Yeah. Now, for the Monterey store, you said it's more worldwide. What do you find people that come in from other countries? What are they looking for? Then this is just personal curiosity.
Part of it's just curiosity to see what we have, but it's more they look for because some of them come from places where they don't have comic shops really. India, the UK, Germany, wherever. They get some newer stuff, but they love seeing the old back issues. We've got a lot of back issues, back collections all the time. We stopped selling figures a few years ago, but they're people come here from all over to check out the local place called Cannery Row and the Wharf and other stuff. So I mean, Marvel DC stuff in general, but just they're just happy to see comics. Some of them.
Well, that's the thing when you talk about the different personalities of different stores, and you got some stores that are all big too, they're all superheroes, and you have some stores that are really heavy independents, right?
Yep.
And some of the really quirky underground kind of comics. It's just all the different stores have personalities.
Yeah.
So finding something that resonates across a lot of those is a hard sell, but you seem to be doing a heck of a job with that.
Yeah. We're more Marvel DC, of course, but Image and Boom and all the rest are right up there. Especially, Skybound, obviously, last couple of years, and Boom and Turtles and Rangers and but the more indie stuff is creeping up. It's just taste. The other store has more subscribers that come in on Wednesdays versus here, and they like the more. I mean, they're heavy on the Batman, Spider-Man too, but they're really into the indie stuff. From Mad Cave and Vault and Image and Keen Spot and Monsters. And it's working. It's getting more and more popular for sure.
I love the diversity.
I gotta ask, which one's your favorite store? I won't tell anybody.
That's just rude.
It is.
I mean,
he loves them both for different reasons, but equally.
Yeah.
There you go. But I live down the street from one of them, so I like being here better.
All I heard was I live down the street from my favorite one. Okay, we can go back to Marcus now.
I do like Joe G's idea of if somebody tries to redeem the golden ticket before the street date.
No.
That's interesting. Yeah, I could actually do that because
if those haven't been printed, make sure that's in the fine print.
They've been printed, but they'll just hold it until street date and go, okay, now I want to redeem.
You can't necessarily ascribe genius to these people.
The good stores will hold it.
That's true.
They will. But yeah, I really like Jen's idea of a monster prom. That sounds fun.
Yeah. I can't wait to see pictures, and hopefully I can see some video, and maybe I can tune in or she can stream that night with me. So that'd be awesome. I'd like to see that.
We've got a good DJ
down in Texas
out at Haven. I might see about getting him to come out and play for the opening too. That'd be a hoot.
I'll come out. If you're going to do something midnight, I'll come out there for a little bit and then still stream and stuff, because I can do that on my phone on the other thing. So I can kind of handle both. Because I'd like, the people that are come out to this, I want them to have a great experience. I want it to be something they remember. I remember all those midnight events I went to see movies at, every one of them. And I'm sad that they don't do it anymore. Even though, man, you would lose sleep and it was, it was rough. It was an experience though. So that's hopefully this will be something like that. And again, if it does so well, I would love to revisit this next year and then always do like maybe a Halloween blind bag. That would be so cool. Every year people expect it. And be a boost to retailers in the fourth quarter like that. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I love the idea. Richard, any other thoughts that you want to share? Your brain's always chock full of stuff that's your goal.
I think Mark's doing a great job. Again, I just think it's organic and that's irreplaceable. And you're breaking through the noise and problems that the industry's got. And I mean, it shows you like people. There's an old saying. I don't remember who told me this. It's an old guy, and I'm an old guy now, but it was an older guy than me. A lot of people want to make comics, a lot of people want to sell comics, and a lot of people want to read comics. And so, we're seeing that adage hold true through everything that's going on. And I think I've got more 100-copy books I order every month than I've ever had at any time, in my existence. So it's been really interesting. So, and to your point about like how I moved 2 blocks a year ago. I couldn't sell stuff. I had no kids coming in my store, and now I've got kids and families in every day, all the time. And 2 blocks, so yeah.
2 blocks did it. Awesome.
So
we had Paul. Not Paul Jenkins. We had Fabian Nicieza was a guest at the local comic convention here in town back in 2017, 2018, somewhere there. I think it was 2017. And no, it was 2018. And we were moving our store about 100 feet from the back of the shopping center to the front of the shopping center, right? And people were confused, like, oh, I can't find you, whatever. So Fabian Nicieza sells these posters of Deadpool kind of doing the Uncle Sam thing, like the Uncle Sam wants you to join the U.S. Army or whatever. But he has a blank word balloon up here, so he would write in it whatever, right? And so I told him what was going on. I said, yeah, we just moved and people are having trouble because it's 100 feet away. So he wrote something super snarky and Deadpool, and I still got that up at the wall. It doesn't make any sense anymore. Everybody's like, what is that? But boy, that was funny at the time. Yeah, moving just a little ways, as long as it's the right direction, can do wonders for you. Yeah, super thrilled with how things are going for you up there, Richard. That's amazing.
We've been really lucky. So
I've been trying to talk Mark into going up there because I said I want to go up there and visit. And Mark, I told him in your rider, if you do go up there, he has to put it on there so I get to pet a buffalo. And he said he could arrange that.
yeah.
He didn't say the buffalo wouldn't kill me, but he said I could pet a buffalo.
I would love to, if I get my workload a little bit better in the coming years like that. I would love to spend like a whole month where I say, hey, I'm not doing any covers or anything. I'm going to go travel and do like some tours of comic book stores like that, because that's great. I'd love to do it. It's just tough when, with my schedule, they're just so busy. But I did 2 cons this year, and those were just like, oh man, I gotta stop working and go do these. So hopefully things lighten up a little bit better next year, to where I can do that. I could take some time off and go travel and do some stores and stuff.
Do you guys know Danny Ward from she's with Ghost Machine now?
Daniel Ward she is great.
Yeah, so she, a way she put it to me was like, right now what we got to do is we got to get books in everybody's store, not come visit one store. And it's like, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want that? We all want that. So
Yep. Exactly.
Yep, that's exactly right. But yeah, I just wanted you to know, if you want me to live my lifelong dream and get to pet a buffalo,
you guys are more than welcome. And Mark, we always tell people we give them the Fargo experience when you come up here.
Oh, so,
wow.
But you have to fit in the wood chipper.
Yeah. my pitch is always when I say to people, it's we know you're coming out here for us, and you're making it fun for the fans, but we also want you to have a great trip, and because that's what everybody's got to have a good time, not just be work. So Chris, right. When Chris Claremont was up here, I mean, that man talks to every individual human for 15 minutes, and you've got this line of 150 people waiting, and you're going, oh my God, so that was fun.
That question about a day, I think FOC is Monday, right?
Right.
Usually Lunar, it's the next day, but if they have trouble, it'll be Wednesday, right? But normally Lunar lets you know pretty soon. Diamond, but Lunar, sometimes I've had in the past where they said we didn't realize it was going to be this big, so it'll be another day. With this, I don't know. I had heard about 2 weeks ago, I think I had told you that, Josh, that they were up to 80,000.
I was trying to figure out how that was, because initial orders weren't due yet, and FOC wasn't yet. So, where are those orders coming from?
I don't know. So that was about 2 weeks ago or 3, and so that's why they were predicting it's going to be pretty big if that's what could come in at that time. So, we'll see. I have no way of knowing. It's all going to be interesting. We'll throw a big party if it's really big.
Hey, I know a place we can host that.
Yeah, at Haven. There you go. We'll FaceTime Richard and let him have a slice of pizza.
Absolutely.
And I know we talked about this, and I saw somewhere that the release date was October 8th, but has it been pushed, or it may get pushed?
No, well, it was going to be October 1st.
And it got pushed a week because they were worried about the printer overloading, how much they had to do with the bags and everything. So, that just because it's an extra step besides just doing the print run, they have to then take the book, put it in the bag, and then again, make sure the pack out of each box and stuff is right.
And the bags look like this.
Yep. And I'm wondering on that, do they okay, if they do a certain pack out for all these boxes, then send them to Lunar, is Lunar then going to, when y'all get boxes, do they say Lunar on them?
Yeah.
Or they say, so
Yeah,
the
they're Lunar
printer
branded
will,
boxes.
okay, so the printer is sending them to Lunar, then Lunar is taking them, opening them up, put them in other boxes, as far as I guess.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe that's going to sort them even more. I don't know. We'll see. But because see, then you're talking about Transcontinental will send them to Lunar in certain boxes. Our Lunar could actually say, "Hey, here's some boxes. Put them in our boxes to send to us." I don't know how that really works. So I don't know if they go through them again, but you know, we'll see. But hopefully it has a great mix. I'm talking to them more about it because that's my number one thing. The mix and then damages. I want to make sure, you know, that people don't have like mass damages or anything like that with the bags. So
I tell you my frustrations. The first metal cover I got from Diamond was fine. The last two metal covers I got from Diamond were both destroyed.
but how?
Like,
I looked at them. There's no way you could do that to that metal. It's
no,
like they
how
did
could
on,
you? I mean, the one was all ripply like this, like
it's
off
like
from
they
that
took a
bottom
hammer to
left-hand
it.
corner.
Yeah, I don't see how that could happen.
And they put it in a box like that. It wasn't like that after nothing else in that box was damaged. They put it in the box like that, and they're like, "Oh, that'll be fine."
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
They thought
You're
you
killing
weren't
me.
going to look at it too close, I guess. That's what it was.
I guess, but wow. Well, fellas, we really appreciate you guys coming on. Travis, Richard, Jen, Marco. I know not everybody could stay the whole time, but really appreciate y'all coming on. Kind of giving us some feedback of what you think this might be at your stores across the country. So I think that's helpful for Mark to get an idea of how things might work in different areas and how he can kind of support different stores with different markets so everybody feels special here. Let's see.
Well,
rock on.
awesome.
Thank you for coming by.
That's awesome.
Leave us a glowing review if you feel so inclined. If you feel like you want to leave a bad review, make sure you leave that for Nick Ellis at Two Brothers Comics. No, sincerely, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it. But yeah, we're going to have a great time selling these blind bags. I love the idea of a monster prom. I might try and steal that. I tell Richard all the time because I steal his ideas all the time. Like I'm not above. I'll take a good idea anywhere I can get it, and from marketing products and that kind of stuff. Like it's an homage to Paradox, is what that is. That's I just.
Yeah,
it's
but
a
Josh,
loving homage.
I appreciate that, Josh. You're one of the most genuine guys in the whole business. You know, there aren't 10 people like you, so you know, like I learn from you all the time too. So,
well, I certainly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and joining us. Anybody got any final questions or anything for Mark before we shut it down for the night? I'm sure he's got to go
Mark, but for Travis, if you can hear me, if one of your employees ever randomly says that some bald fat dude just walked in, said, "I like the other store better," and turned around and walked out.
Oh my god!
It is what it is. Accept
it. He'll hunt you down.
I will treat y'all like I'll treat you like the rivalry IHOPs. I like the one on the other side of town better.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I got so hung up on this. Yes, Mike, we are doing our Dragon Constellation event for you guys who aren't local here. Dragon Con like sucks away all the nerds in Huntsville and North Alabama like for the whole weekend, and they save all their money before they go, and then they spend all their money there, and they have no money the week after they get back. So Dragon Con is like the bane of my existence. It's a wonderful thing and I love it, but it's wow. So it was perfectly timed for Bianca to jump on earlier because we do have our Dragon Constellation event with our Sad Dragon. For all the people who cannot go to Dragon Con and they're heartbroken about it, we try to make it special here in Huntsville. So if you guys can't go to Dragon Con, but you want to still have a good time and geek out and get some good deals, we are going to be having our Dragon Constellation event at Haven this weekend. So come on by, dry the tears off that sad dragon, make him a happier bunny, and we would appreciate it. Bianca, thank you for drawing this for us, because this is what the sad dragon looked like when I drew it.
It is a sad dragon.
Oh, it's definitely sad.
See, this is what somebody does in MS Paint, and this is what a professional does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bianca, I had this on the screen. She's like, it's a perfectly acceptable sad dragon. I'm like, you are lying through your teeth.
You can get rid of that tear, and it's still a sad dragon.
Oh no!
Is that what happens when Mama and Daddy is related?
Yeah, could be. But then Bianca whips together this sad dragon in like 17 seconds and sends it to me, and I'm like, God bless her. What a sweetheart. So yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah, I went from a sad dragon to a really professional looking sad dragon. Thank you. Yes, I could not agree more. Bianca's sad dragon is infinitely better than my sad dragon. As Mark so aptly put it, my sad dragon would be sad without the tear. Yeah. Mark, if I will give you the rights to do that sad dragon if you ever want to do a cover of a sad dragon on your book. We can work something out. Oh Lord. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. As always, Richard, great talking with you. Travis, great to talk with you. Really looking forward to more of this. I hope that The Monster and the Wolf #1 is a huge success for you guys.
Yep.
I hope all of your books sell well. You know what your market's like, but I hope this is a huge success for you guys. I can tell you it's going to be a huge success for us. Because I really believe in it, and I think it's going to be great. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, any last words before we shut her down for the evening?
No, just thanks for having us, and nice to meet you, Mark.
It's good to meet both of you, Travis, Richard. Thank you for coming out and spending your Thursday, and Jen earlier, Marco, and give me some more insight on it. I appreciate it, guys. And again, I do hope it's a huge success, and that y'all are, reach out to them. Man, we wish we ordered more. That's what I'm hoping. That'd be awesome. You sell through, and all your customers had a great experience. That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. And for anybody who's like wondering why in the world our closeout video is what it is, when we first started this show, we were a trivia show. But I really like this video because it reminds me of the 1980s video game Mindhunter. Or Spy Hunter, rather. So this is our closeout video. Enjoy, and we will catch you guys next time. Thank you all so much for joining us.